did win a trophy.
How last season finished without a trophy? Do you feel as though there's
No,
any...
we won a trophy.
At the end of last season, I mean, you won...
No, we won a trophy, Community Shield, we won a trophy.
It's been quite a lengthy time in between those two trophies ahead of your next one, comparison to what you've done in the past. Do you feel as though there's any extra pressure for you to win the League Cup with it being the first available trophy this season?
A lot of pressure, we feel. It's not about to win or not win trophies, it's about how the team grows up, how a team is better. Last season we didn't deserve to win just more than just one trophy because we didn't play good. So satisfaction to win a trophy when we are not playing good can happen. You know, knockout stages, make a lucky and miss it to it. It's not about that.
Is it a competition for Manchester City? It may be different for Newcastle, for Arsenal. We've not won something for a while. That it does make a difference whether they win the Carabao Cup or not.
Yeah, of course it makes a difference. As Pep Guardiola said, he didn't win a trophy. Like, yeah, we did. We won the Community Shield. So he's letting people know that still is a trophy. But, nah, I think I've always said this competition, apart from last year when Newcastle won it, is Man City's competition. I think Pep, and one thing he does where I respect him is he always puts a strong team out. So he doesn't take no competition lightly. He always wants to win. And now you've got to the semi-final. Go on and win it. It's a good opportunity. I know there's still a lot of football and a lot of games, but the four teams that are in there have good squads and big squads that can go and compete. So I think it's a fascinating game. It's a hard game because Newcastle, as I said, I think Newcastle needs to go back to the Etihad with a lead. Man City defensively have a few injuries and stuff, but going forward they're frightening. So it's a game I'm really looking forward to.
Does it help, do you think, integrate Antoine Semenyo that he's got a couple of cup games that he can just ease himself into a little bit?
Yeah, definitely, and I like Semenyo. Obviously, he came on, he started the other day against Exeter, and I feel he was outstanding, to be fair. Got his goal, but he's going to bring a lot, Semenyo. I think he's nearly the complete player. He'll learn a lot under Pep Guardiola, but he's got the pace, he's even said it, the power, the strength, and he can score goals, and he gets his head up, puts crosses into the box. I can guarantee you Haaland would like him. And the thing is, everyone used to keep saying, where the goal's going to come from with Man City because they're so reliant on Haaland. Well, now they've got another threat in Semenyo who will get the goal. So I think, yeah, these two games that he's got coming up, they will help him massively.
So City cruise. Now some breaking news that, as you can see at Newcastle, Sven Botman has signed a new contract until 2030. As for the team, after a hard-fought win over Bournemouth in the FA Cup, they now turn their attention to Manchester City as they look to retain the Carabao Cup. We've been speaking to Anthony Gordon about the season so far, their target for the rest of the campaign, and of course that first leg against City.
You're a Centurion, Newcastle Premier League appearances now. How does that feel? Because it feels a lifetime ago since you came here.
No, it feels good. I think the best part about that is that I've been available all those times. It's not easy as a footballer. I think we have so many matches, so many different competitions to play in. You know, I've been able to be available for all appearances and can say I've enjoyed most of them. We've been quite successful since I've been here, so yeah, really happy.
Just talk to us then about the difficulty in when you achieve a ton of appearances like that. Do you put a measurement down to when you want to achieve that by, or is it a case of now where you just have to accept what comes your way?
Yeah, to be honest, I'm not too bothered about appearances. I just try and more emphasise on performing. Like, I want to perform every single game, and hopefully that'll keep me in the team. Ultimately adds more appearances on, so it all goes hand in hand, but it all starts with performing, which is my main emphasis. How
do you feel you've performed then this season, as that's what we're talking about?
Yeah, good, really good. I think I've been in really good form in all competitions, really. I think statistically in the Premier League probably doesn't show it, but I think performance-wise I've been exactly where I want to be. I've been direct, getting our players. We just hadn't had the luck I've had in previous seasons, but thoroughly enjoyed it. I think we're hitting some form now as a team. We've had a couple of good wins, and we need to sort of keep going on the track we're on.
Yeah, you've got those wins because it was inconsistent, wasn't it, as we all know.
Yeah.
What do you put that down to? Can you put that down to anything just because of the way that the Premier League is this season?
Yeah, I don't think anyone's been really consistent other than maybe Arsenal. I think the table reflects that. The table's so tight from like 13th, 14th to 4th is like 6 points. But I think for me, we had a lot of new players and trying to gel them into a very structured system, very structured way of playing was never going to be easy. It took probably longer than we would have wanted it to, but I feel like we're finally there. Players are totally embedded in the system and now we're starting to perform.
You hear people talk about this all the time when new players come in. There is no magic solution, is there?
No. No.
So how do you get that relationship? How does it work? What buttons do you have to press?
Again, I think it's just like repetition. I think the more you play with someone, the more you play with new players, you kind of understand how they want to play. It's all about tendencies. They have natural instincts that take them to certain places on the pitch, take certain touches in different areas, and it's just getting to know them, trying to work off them then, and hopefully creating a good partnership with the people next to you.
I remember, because he put it in his programme notes, Eddie Howe against Crystal Palace, if he could take the first half against Chelsea and the second half against Manchester United, that would be perfection for him. Yeah. How difficult is that to do?
Yeah, it's hard because the way we play is so flat out. Like we press like possessed animals sometimes. So to do that in the first half, like we did against Chelsea, it can be tough to then replicate in the second half. Against Man United, we weren't good enough in the first half, but then we picked it up in the second. So it's kind of like he said, if we could do both, it'd be perfect, but it's not always that easy.
I know you've got a lot going on with Newcastle, especially in the second half of the season. How would you then, because we know what the Premier League's been like so far, what would be a realistic, how would you assess what can be achieved this season?
I think, like I said, we've hit form at a good time. So right now we can go wherever we want to go. Our target is always the Champions League. Based on our performances, we can beat anyone on any day. So yeah, it's up to us. We're so close to where we want to be. It's going to be up to us to perform. And
obviously you've got a trophy to defend as well, a title to defend, and that's very much on the horizon. Not that you can look too far ahead, but do you feel you can go that step further again and go back down south to Wembley?
I want to win more trophies. I want to defend the one we got. I'd like to win the FA Cup because I don't have one, so both would look good on my TV. But no, listen, it's hard to even look past the next game. I feel like all the days are kind of morphing into one with the amount of games we've got. So just focus on Leeds, and yeah, when the cup games come, we'll get to that. But
you've got the ambition as well with England, not to look too far ahead with that. Obviously, march back with international duty as well. It's such a big year for players like yourself.
Yeah, it's exciting. This is what you want in your life. You don't want to be playing 2 games a week, out of the cup competitions, not in the Champions League, not getting called up to international. So I'm in a good place. I've got so much to look forward to. But ultimately, it's down to how I perform for Newcastle, and all them dreams can come true.
He talks there, Clinton, about an exciting year for him. How assured is he of a place in Thomas Tuchel's squad, and how likely is he to be a starter?
If you'd probably asked me 3 or 4 months ago, I'd have said he's definitely a shoo-in, but obviously he's obviously saying he's been playing well. I don't think he's been scoring the amount of goals. I know he's been scoring a lot of goals from penalty, but from open play, it's been a long time, and he's been in and out of the Newcastle team. Harvey Barnes has come in recently and been very good scoring goals, but I think Thomas Tuchel trusts Anthony Gordon, and when the pitch is an open game, he hugs the touchline and will cause problems. But when teams are playing against England, there's no space in behind, then I think there'll be a different player playing on that left-hand side. But I still think he will go to the World Cup, but he'll probably know by his own standards he wants to add more goals from open play to his game and more assists. But as I say, Newcastle are kicking on now at the moment. So, yeah, it's open. If I stay here and sit and say he's 100% going and then he don't make it, it'd be like...
We'll play it out, yeah. We'll
exactly.
definitely dredge that one back up come May. As we've said already, it's going to be a fantastic atmosphere at St James's Park. A reminder, you can see all the action. Coverage gets underway tomorrow at 7 o'clock on Sky Sports. Round of the FA Cup, having beaten Crystal Palace. I'm trying to think what would be the worst shock you ever suffered as a player, and just how embarrassing.
Well, it was not like that.
No.
Yeah,
there's never been anything like that.
No, nothing like that. That was one of the worst, and it was probably humiliating for everyone involved at Palace. The players will be hurting. Because everyone's going to talk about it. So the next thing these players need is Sunderland on the weekend, because they need to put that out of the back of their minds and get back on like the bus and just think about Sunderland on the weekend, because it was humiliating. They knew the TV cameras and everyone was there because they thought it might be an upset, but they didn't think it really was going to happen. And even with the changes that Oliver Glasner made, and he had to make those changes because Mateta couldn't play on that surface and there's other players missing, so he's only made a few changes. Palace shouldn't be losing to Macclesfield. Full credit to Macclesfield, outstanding, wanted it more than Crystal Palace. That's probably the hardest thing for me to say, because I've sat here many a times and praised this Crystal Palace team who have been outstanding under Oliver Glasner. But I thought the difference on the weekend, it just looked in my eyes that Macclesfield wanted it a lot more. And you can have off days like that, what Palace have, but they need to bounce back against Sunderland.
Is the concern that they've probably had a few too many off days recently, and that Oliver Glasner has sort of forecast this, that it is a group that are maybe running out of a bit of steam?
He's a top manager. You don't get it wrong. He said it. We've got so much games coming up at the moment, and this is where, listen, the hierarchy have backed him with Brendan Johnson. They need 2 or 3 other players in to help him, without a shadow of a doubt, because the squad have had so much football to play. They do look tired, some of the players. They do look tired, and he'd probably love to give more players a rest, but he can't at the moment because they have injuries to key players like Munoz, Kamada. Sar's away at the AFCON, and that's a huge blow because Ismail Sarr's been outstanding for them. So, yeah, he needs a bit of help. And I don't want the season to peter out because I still think they've got a good chance of winning the Europa Conference League for sure.
Clinton, thank you very much indeed. Just a quick bit of team news from Anfield. The likes of Virgil van Dijk, Dominic Szoboszlai, Alexis McAllister all start for Liverpool tonight as they look to see off League One Barnsley in the FA Cup. A reminder